Hello, everybody, and welcome back to SquaMania, your favorite herp podcast. I am your co-host, Ann Knoll.
And I'm your co host, Liz Gila. Today, we will be talking about a fascinating lizard species, the earless monitor.
We'll be hearing from three expert herpetologists who are all here to tell us all about what makes this animal so special.
Now, we're a little short on sponsors today, so we've only got the funding for about 5 minutes of content. So, let's welcome our first expert, Dr. Chuck Wallace.
Thank you so much for having me.
Chuck, can you give us some of the basics?
Yeah, so earless monitor lizards are orangish-brown lizards. They have forked tongues and prehensile tails, and they were first described in 1878. Honestly, they kind of look like mini dragons, which is kind of rad if you ask me. They're approximately 16 inches long as adults, and then they are found on the island of Borneo in the south of the South China Sea, hence the name Borneo earless monitors. Unfortunately, there isn't much data on their actual population distribution, nor on the impact of humans on the species, but they have been found in rainforests and wetlands of both Indonesia and Malaysia, which is where Borneo is located. But they have also been found in streams flowing through poor agricultural habitats, such as matured fruit tree gardens, palm oil plantations, and sometimes in rice fields.
Wow, so it sounds like these lizards are fairly aquatic then.
Indeed, they are. They also like to feed on fish, worms, crustaceans, and
Thanks, Dr. Wallace. Don't forget, we'll have some photos and additional information up on the SquaMania subreddit, so check us out there if you haven't already. Up next, we have Dr. Lacey Tillia.
Yes, thank you for having me on the show.
So, Lacey, could you tell us a little about the earless part of the lizard's name?
Well, actually, their scientific name is Lanthanothus bornealis, which literally translates to hidden ear from Borneo. They have no visible ear, or rather, no external ear openings. This means they have no tympanum or tympanic membrane, a biological trait commonly seen in reptiles and homologous to the human ear.
So, can they hear at all?
Well, as a matter of fact, they actually can hear. Earless monitors are able to detect low-frequency sounds from the ground rather than the typical sounds that travel through the air. While they don't have a tympanum or tympanic membrane, they do have a tympanic cavity, which is shallow though. Within this tympanic cavity is a quadrate bone, which is part of the jaw. The stapes is attached to the quadrate bone, also within the tympanic cavity. Additionally, there's a cartilaginous extracolumnar, which is located laterally to the tympanic cavity. These are just some of the structures that facilitate their limited ability to hear.
Thanks, Lacey. And now, time for a message from our one and only sponsor.
Thanks, Sal. What a neat opportunity.
Now we'll welcome our third and final expert, Herp Rogan.
He will be telling us all about some of the potential threats and conservation issues to the Borneo earless monitor. Welcome, Herb.
Glad to be here, Anne.
So, what can you tell us about the conservation status of these lizards?
Well, there are quite a few conservation concerns for the earless monitor lizard. These critters' populations are decreasing due to losing their habitat to palm oil plantations, and especially due to the exotic pet trade. They are also hunted for their skins for the leather market. This wasn't helped by how long they were listed as unprotected under the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species, or CITES.
Wow, is there any hope for these guys?
I think there is, despite the lack of info on their true population status. Recently, they have been listed under Appendix 2 of CITES, and European zoos have a breeding program for them, which has been quite successful.
And that is all we have for today. I hope you have all had as much fun as we did learning about the Borneo earless monitor.
Thank you all for tuning in. Be sure to catch us next week when we talk about amphisbaenians. But in the meantime, squam out!
Hello, my name is Sal E. Mander from the World Lizard Authority, and I want to tell you about the amazing opportunity that we are offering to listeners of SquaMania. For a limited time, you can donate to adopt an earless monitor. When you adopt a monitor, you get a free monitor plushie, photo of your lizard, and certificate of adoption. Your donation goes to supporting earless monitor lizard habitat protection and restoration. Use code SQUAM at checkout for 15% off. That's SQUAM at checkout for 15% off your order. Note, you are not adopting a real monitor. Adoption is purely metaphorical and to provide funding for habitat restoration.